typical industry standard is to evaluate screenplay and cut it up into scenes with detailed storyboarding, as we have done in producing this film. Doing this helps us to identify scenes that don't fit into the narrative too well. You'd think the addition of these various effects may be too much of a distraction to the user watching the film, but I applied these effects quite subtly to prevent this and add more realism to the scene. It was a difficult challenge to seamlessly integrate currently non-existent technology into a scene and make it look realistic, but I feel the final effect worked as planned, responding to actions whilst looking aesthetically pleasing. The final composition managed to come out as planned for our storyboard writing and sketches. As you can see, the eye tracker looks in the final edit like it was intended from the storyboard. With motion tracking, the computer is pointed to a spot within an image and then released to track that spot frame after frame for the rest of the shot. This method is helpful for showing the character throw the smoke grenade, which was added into the scene as an animation. Autodesk 3ds Max was the software used to create the grenade model. We use this software for creating our model. As described by Roger Cusson, it has a robust toolset. This is true as I was able to create, texture and animate the grenade within the 3ds Max software. This method proved a more effective alternate approach to animating the object. The software was really beneficial and helped us achieve seamless integration in our scene.
During the creation of the guard scene, a mask was animated around the characters frame by frame so the blood splatter would appear behind them. The motion tracker was initially used to do this, but the track created was of a lower quality, so it would have taken too long to correct compared to the method we did use.
During the CCTV scene, I used motion tracking points to pinpoint the corners of the CCTV screens. I then attached motion points to some pre-prepared images from Photoshop as to give the illusion that the actor is actually looking at the screens. I could have done this by using the scale and rotate options in After Effects, but this would have proved very time consuming and would not have looked as good.
The download scene footage was taken into After Effects and key light was used to remove the green screen from the background. The method attempted beforehand involved the use of the ultralight key, but this either removed too much green from the character or too little green from the background.
During the countdown sequence, I edited frame by frame by exporting the footage from After Effects into PSDs and editing each individual PSD in Photoshop. This was very time consuming, and for a while I had considered using Flash to create a short animation and overlay that on top of the original footage. However, using Flash to create the sequence we needed for the animation, it came out far too cartoon-like and would not look good in the final composition.
It's quite a tricky experience matching the visual effects with live action, as the character movement is very quick and on a creased t-shirt. Therefore, I had to be very precise with my spline mapping. The interfaces of Mocha and After Effects are very similar, simplifying the completion of this process. However, I feel the functionality of Mocha can and possibly needs to be greatly improved as the tracking doesn't work as well as I'd hoped.
The glass scene in this shot was created in 3ds Max as a P-flow particle system and was rendered out as a JPEG sequence. A different way of getting this lock would have basically evolved using the shatter effect, which is built into After Effects, although this method looks artificial in comparison.
After some research and playing about with a number of the standard effects, using the smoke trials tutorial which we found on Video Copilot, along with Trapcode particularly 2, which is the plugin for After Effects, with its realistic natural effects and jam-packed with features, seemed to be the best option for the scene. The plugin in particular is used in the motion pictures like Spider-Man 3. It is used to create the Sandman. Advantages were you could create new lights within the composition. These could then be paired, as it were, with the image within your project, and you can really use them for anything. Then using the many settings, you tweak them to get as realistic looking as possible. This did take some time. The only disadvantage I would say of a particular plugin is, as I said before, there are too many settings and you could spend a lifetime trying them all out. To show the explosion, this is a very basic pre-kit effect, found free for download on the net, imported into After Effects, shrunk down to size, and the fourth is to fall short and hit the ground. There was a tutorial on Video Copilot again, but the disadvantage with this is I personally don't have any experience with 3ds Max all the time to learn it. An idea came to me in browsing tutorials. In the film Hancock with Will Smith, every time he lands, the ground shatters and breaks. So I decided to use this effect for the missile hitting the ground. This is fairly simple to do, as I found a tutorial straight away. With the added bonus, it came with all the 3D elements and they're all free to use within the project.